Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring a deeply profound mystery hidden inside one of the oldest living cities on Earth. I'm talking about Kashi, which you probably know as the sacred city of Varanasi. Perched right there on the banks of the mighty Ganges River in India, this city is universally revered as the city of liberation. But behind all its ancient traditions, there's a fascinating, intensely powerful figure standing guard over the whole thing. Let's get right into it.
If you visit Varanasi today, the sensory experience just totally washes over you. You've got the eternal, peaceful flow of the Ganges, sacred chants echoing all around, and that constant rhythmic ringing of temple bells. It's beautiful. Yet, right behind all those ancient temples and sacred ghats, there's an unseen, fierce presence keeping watch over the city, a divine force overseeing life, death, and ultimately, liberation. So to truly understand this city of liberation, we really have to ask, who is this true guardian?
And this brilliantly illustrates an incredible duality at the heart of this ancient tradition. On one side, we have Lord Shiva. He represents compassion, profound wisdom, and cosmic balance. But on the other side, we have Kal Bhairav. This is the fierce, absolutely fearless manifestation of Shiva himself. Where Shiva is peaceful, Kal Bhairav embodies divine justice, fierce protection, and the absolute, unstoppable force of time. In the spiritual traditions of Kashi, it's Kal Bhairav who is revered as the eternal guardian.
To understand exactly how this fierce guardian came to be, we've got to look back at some ancient legends. Long ago, the myth tells of a massively high-stakes dispute that blew up between two of Hinduism's most prominent deities, Lord Brahma, the creator, and Lord Vishnu, the preserver. The argument? Supreme cosmic authority. Basically, who was the true supreme being? This was a literal clash of cosmic proportions, and it threatened the very order of the entire universe.
Okay, let's dive into this, because this epic hero's journey is just fascinating. First, to destroy this massive pride and restore order to the cosmos, Lord Shiva steps in by manifesting Kal Bhairav directly out of his own divine energy. Second, in a truly dramatic display of power, Kal Bhairav completely severs Lord Brahma's fifth head. Now this is super symbolic. That fifth head literally represented pure ego and arrogance. Third, because of this intense act, Kal Bhairav is cursed to wander the earth carrying that very severed skull. And finally, his long, agonizing journey eventually leads him to find ultimate redemption right in Kashi.
Let's look a little closer at why he had to wander in the first place. You see, when Kal Bhairav severed Brahma's head to destroy that ego, it definitely wasn't without consequences. This act brought down a terrible curse known as Brahma Hatya. Basically, this is the incredibly severe, deeply burdensome sin incurred by killing a creator deity. Because of this massive karmic weight, Kal Bhairav couldn't just brush it off. Carrying Brahma's skull, he was literally forced to wander across countless sacred places, desperately searching for absolution. But no matter where he went, he just couldn't shake this immense burden. Well, that is, until he finally arrived in Kashi. The ancient texts describe this incredibly dramatic moment of redemption. The exact second Kal Bhairav steps foot into Varanasi, the skull of Brahma finally falls from his hand. Just like that, the heavy sin of Brahma Hatya is completely dissolved. Because Kashi gave him this ultimate absolution, it instantly becomes his sacred, eternal domain. And it's in that exact moment that Lord Shiva officially appoints Kal Bhairav as the divine guardian of the city. And that brings us to a very specific, highly revered title. Because of this divine appointment by Shiva, Kal Bhairav is famously known as the Kotwal of Kashi. Now, traditionally, a Kotwal translates to a police chief or chief guardian. So this beautifully connects his ancient, mythological journey to his very real, everyday significance in the sacred city. He is, quite literally, the spiritual police chief, the absolute protector of this holy land. There's an ancient belief that perfectly captures his power, and it goes like this. No one truly enters or leaves Kashi without coming under his watchful gaze. It's an awe-inspiring thought, right? This belief is so deeply ingrained in the culture of the city that it's said any spiritual practice performed in Kashi, whether you're chanting, meditating, or bathing in the Ganges, will only bear its fullest fruit if it's accompanied by the blessings of Kal Bhairav. He is the ultimate gatekeeper. Now here is what makes this guardian so incredibly powerful and relevant to all of us. Devotees believe that Kal Bhairav silently observes every single person who visits the city. But more importantly, he completely disregards earthly status, wealth, or worldly knowledge. Seriously, before this divine guardian, human power and privilege mean absolutely nothing. Every single person is judged entirely equally before his divine judgment.
To ground all this profound mythology into physical reality, we've got to look at the heart of this tradition today, the famous Kal Bhairav temple in Varanasi. This isn't just some abstract concept, guys. It's a very real, bustling place where thousands of devotees gather to stand before him. They go to his temple specifically to seek protection, to find courage, and to gain true freedom from fear. Inside, the deity is depicted with these intense, piercing eyes and a totally commanding presence. It perfectly symbolizes his role as the ultimate destroyer of ignorance. Now, to fully understand his role, we need to quickly define a core concept of this city: moksha. Moksha is the ultimate spiritual liberation. It's the final release from the endless cycle of rebirth. Remember earlier when we said Kashi is known worldwide as the City of Liberation? Well, this concept of moksha is exactly what draws so many people to the city, especially in their final days. And this leads us to one of the absolute most intriguing beliefs associated with Kashi, involving both Shiva and Kal Bhairav.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the perfect dichotomy it reveals about death and liberation in the city. According to Hindu tradition, Lord Shiva is the one who grants the sacred Taraka mantra to souls departing from Kashi. He's actively guiding them toward moksha, offering that ultimate freedom. But right alongside that, we have Kal Bhairav, who is believed to rigorously oversee the law of karma. He ensures that before any soul actually gets that liberation, they must face the exact consequences of their actions with perfect, unflinching justice. So Shiva offers the grace, but Kal Bhairav ensures the accountability.
Because of this incredible dynamic, there's a very strict, centuries-old tradition that pilgrims follow to this day. We can call it the pilgrimage rule. A visit to Kashi is widely considered totally incomplete if a pilgrim doesn't pay homage to Kal Bhairav. The tradition dictates that devotees must first seek the blessings of Lord Shiva, the grantor of liberation. Then, they must immediately visit Kal Bhairav to acknowledge him as the city's spiritual protector and enforcer of karma. You truly need the blessing of both deities to complete your journey.
Let's see how this builds our understanding of what Kal Bhairav actually represents. We've talked about the literal mythology, the severed head, the wandering, the physical temple itself. But what is the deeper mystery behind his fierce, terrifying appearance? There is a profound, almost mind-bending philosophical metaphor hiding right in plain sight here, and it applies to every single one of us, whether we ever step foot in Varanasi or not. Here is the ultimate meaning behind the Kotwal of Kashi. Kal Bhairav is the embodiment of time itself, that intense commanding presence, that fiercely protective form. It represents the absolute, unstoppable force of time. Time is the one thing before which all worldly achievements, all our wealth, all our power, and all human pride will eventually just fade away. Time strips us of the very ego that Lord Brahma was punished for in that ancient legend we talked about.
So the crucial point is this: if Kal Bhairav destroys our pride, our wealth, and our ego, what actually survives his watchful gaze? His presence is a powerful reminder to humanity that the only things that truly endure are truth, righteousness, and spiritual wisdom. These are literally the only concepts immune to the unstoppable rolling force of time.
Even today, amid the eternal flow of the Ganges and the sacred chants of Kashi, the Kotwal continues his silent watch. He is the invisible guardian right where life, death, and liberation meet. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to reflect on long after this explainer ends. When time inevitably strips away your worldly achievements, your wealth, and your pride, what truth will be left behind for the Kotwal to judge? Think about that. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep seeking knowledge.